It's the NFL on EA Sports, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the New York Giants and the Miami Dolphins, and it's kicking off next on Madden NFL 24.
The summer humidity has given way to an absolutely gorgeous fall afternoon here at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Straight ahead, we've got a pretty good one on tap here, as it'll be the New York Giants taking on the Miami Dolphins. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. At CD, the Dolphins, they've got some high hopes for 2023. They feel like they've got the pieces to make a run. They need a little bit of health, but they think they can be right there in the AFC East.
And they'll want every game to be a track meet because speed is their calling card. And if they're able to sprint out there ahead of people and make them chase, they'll be tough to reel in.
Meanwhile, for the Giants, what a turnaround last season in year one of the Brian Daboll era, Charles. Yes, they finished behind the Eagles and Cowboys, but they did win 9 games and one more for good measure at Minnesota in the wild card round.
Talk about establishing a new base, a new culture, and getting into the playoffs while doing it. So tough to beat this Giants team in the fourth quarter. They expect that to continue.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. Taken at the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Dolphins set to go on offense for the first time behind their 25-year-old quarterback, now in his 4th NFL season, Tua Tagovailoa.
Injuries overshadowed a great season from Tua last season. He led a Miami passing game that was one of the best in the league, and even more importantly, took them to the postseason for the first time in 6 years. That jump they were looking for from him, it absolutely occurred.
Now their 31-year-old running back, Raheem Mostert, and he'll get this just across the 25-yard line.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
2nd down and 6 now from the 26. Once again, it's Mostert. A nice little juke. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Dolphin first down. Veteran running back like him, we've seen a lot of those chunk carries in his career.
And that's why you don't just look at his birth certificate and decide when a guy is done, right? Because you know as well as I do, in this league, as soon as you hit 30, they're looking to let you go if you're a running back. Sometimes there's a little tread left on the tires.
This one left side caught by Barrios. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter from Miami. It's the Dolphins with the football as they've got it 2nd and 7. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down. He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of a story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what'd you say to him?
Yeah, it's really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that.
That's cold-blooded. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Now Tua. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
Looked like both sides were anticipating a quick throw there, and the defense was ready to jump in and deny it, and they did.
Here's 2nd and 10. Tagovailoa working out of the gun. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 33. They give them 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
That's caught by the Notre Dame man. It's Durham Smythe. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Tua setting up shop to throw again. Now throw right side here going to be incomplete.
And here you're down in the red zone. You need to be smart, not force anything. So that's a wise decision to just get rid of the football.
Now a 2nd and 10. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
They haven't been able to stop them so far this series, but getting a nice little stand from their defense now.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Tua sets up to pass it. Throw out wide is incomplete. Credit the Giants defense that time in pass coverage. 4th down.
Nice call by the defense there on 3rd down. Just flood the field with extra defensive backs in their dime package. Nowhere to go with the football. Forces the incompletion.
So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. Sanders' kick is good. And we have action on the scoreboard just before halftime. It's 3-0. So a pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
So time enough for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half. And shoves him off at the 20. So the two teams will head to the locker rooms here in Miami with the Dolphins on top. As we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. If you missed the first half, there's not much to get you caught up on. Just the lone field goal accounting for the entirety of the scoring. A 3-0 game to this point, as both defenses have been strong so far.
Okay, Coach, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. These offenses seemingly still back at the hotel for the first half. 3-0 our score as the second half gets underway. From his end zone, here's Gary Brightwell. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either, so certainly something has to change here in quarter three.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well, and they've kept them around in this game. Now, they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. On the option right, it's Jones. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. Give him 10 yards on the keeper, and it'll lead to a second down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it. But it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Miami. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. Here's Jones. Here's second and a yard. Jones. He'll find Hodgins there, complete. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Two timeouts still available in this final minute. It's 1st and 10 now. Now Jones. And that one complete to Hodgins. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. Here's first down. Jones. This one goes out wide for Barkley. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
And now the timeout call. So 5 seconds left, and a field goal would send us to overtime. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to tie things up in the final minute. And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. This hasn't exactly been a battle of one touchdown after the other, quite the opposite. But at 3-3 now here in the fourth, It's been an entertaining game considering just 2 field goals.
Yeah, is it really a football game now, or are we watching baseball? This feels like a pitcher's duel, doesn't it? Nice and tense on the edge of your seat. Have you been scoring this one? A lot of strikeouts and ground balls in this one.
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. Four quarters not enough. We're all even, and to overtime we go.
How much fun is this for everyone who's watching the game? How much fun is it for us to see this one get an extra period to get settled?
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So Miami coming out for their second drive. I cannot imagine how these players and coaches feel, Charles, because my palms sweating up here in the booth now as we go to the third drive of overtime. And as we know from here on out, any points win this football game.
I'll throw you a towel as well, partner. I've got one for myself, but let's face it, our nerves, our pressure, nothing compared to what's going on that field. Both of the field goal kickers active here early. Can one of them become the hero and end this thing?
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Keeping the aggression going on defense in overtime here, a first down blitz.
You know you can get burned on it big time if they pick it up, but in this situation, they brought the blitz, put some pressure on the QB, and he wasn't able to complete a pass downfield.
2nd and 10. Now Tua. And his throw here is incomplete. Once that ball was popped in the air, you could almost hear the silence, the collective breath being held here in the stadium.
Let's be honest about it. We both came out of our chairs, didn't we? All right, anytime you see the ball in the air like that, there is that collective rise, the crowd holding its breath, and boy, oh boy, the moment of truth as it comes down. Man, that was something.
Everything magnified here in overtime. Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now. On for a very important punt here in overtime. And he'll get this away into the humid Florida sky. Taken from just outside the 30. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. So the Giants getting the football back here for their second drive. Well, their defense did the job, got off the field without giving up any points, and now, Charles, all they need here is a field goal, and they get the victory.
Yeah, and this is the way I love overtime. I'm one of those really, really old school guys that like sudden death right from the beginning. Well, we've got it now because any points wins the game. On defense, get a safety, a pick six, fumble return, you can win it as well. So I'm really looking forward to this series and see how both sides play it.
Now a timeout called for by the offense. They'll be down to just one remaining as we step aside here in overtime. They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. To throw is Jones. Gets this to Waller. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. So he hooked up with a veteran there, and in overtime, that's not a bad idea. Go with the age and the experience.
Yeah, because sometimes the young guys, they give you the fresh legs and give you all that bounce. But in this type of a situation, sometimes those legs slow down a little bit as the enormity of the moment overwhelms them. The veteran guys, they tend to come through.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield. They had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Jones fakes the give to Barkley. Now he's flushed out right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. Now a timeout called for by the offense. It'll be their 2nd and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back.
Let's go, man.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Throwing Jones. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
Sometimes the game is pretty simple. Put a few extra defensive backs on the field, give them nowhere to throw the football, force the incompletion, and get off the field on 3rd down.
Here's Jamie Gillen now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback.
Let's do our thing. Let's do our thing.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during the series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
And a timeout now here in overtime with 4 seconds remaining. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Here's Tua. That's to the sideline and incomplete. 1 overtime. How about 2? We need another. We're still even. We'll switch sides and have that 2nd overtime in just a moment. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Tua. A throw out wide, going to be incomplete. This de-forced the punt on the opening drive of overtime, and now they're a play away from doing that again.
So you know they're confident about what they've done, and they're confident about this play call, but they can't be overconfident because they don't want to give up the ball a 2nd time. When you're in overtime in this situation, getting points, finishing the game, they may have a special play call coming up to try and fool them.
And going deep for Hill. And this is caught. They tried to tiptoe the pylon, but they're going to say he stepped out at the 1-yard line.
Oh, man, disappointment that he couldn't finish that off in the end zone. What an effort there, doing all he can to get to the pylon, and he's going to wind up out of bounds just short. But a huge play there, going to set him up with 1st and goal from very short range.
So it all rests now on the right foot of Jason Sanders. This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good. And they have won it here in double overtime. Well, obviously, Charles, this was by no means an offensive track meet. I mean, the defense misses were the story in this ball game. But, hey, they got enough points to get the job done, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
You're absolutely right about that, partner. In such a low-scoring game, it completely changes everything you had planned to do out there. Fortunately for them, they got just enough